Hey, what's going on, guys? It's N Square Sports coming back with another video. So, last night the news broke in the NBA. The first big trade before the All-Star break. They always happen every year. Some years are better than others. Don't know if this year's gonna be so great with trades before the All-Star break. This one really started out with a bang. So, I'm gonna go over all the trade and who got traded. It was a 4-team trade. I think 12 players got traded, if I'm correct on that. So let me go over the trade real quick. I have it pulled up. So it's a trade between Minnesota, Denver, Atlanta, and Houston. Now, if you guys know me, you know my favorite two teams are Houston, number one, and Atlanta is my second favorite team. So I'm pretty happy because both of my teams got assets, and it ended up that I'll just go over the trade and I'll tell y'all. Okay, so in this deal, it was between 4 teams. So the Houston Rockets receive Robert Covington, Atlanta receives Clint Capela and Nene, Minnesota gets Malik Beasley, Juan Herman Gomez, and Evan Turner, as well as a first-round pick. And then Denver gets Gerald Green and a Houston first-round pick. And I believe Gerald Green will also be waived because he has the right to be waived because of bird rights, and he will continue his rehab. So he won't. I guess he won't be on a team. Also, Minnesota also traded their player Bates Diop to Denver, and Noah Vonleh is going to the Nuggets. And Jordan Bell is going to the Rockets, as well as the Rockets are also getting a second-round pick for this. So a lot of different players to a lot of different teams. The most important players really, I would say Clint Capela and Robert Covington for sure. Those are probably the two biggest ones. Malik Beasley is really good. Used to be for the Nuggets. He's a pretty big player. But really the two names that you got to know from this trade is Clint Capela and Robert Covington. Now, what I think about this is being a Houston fan, everybody wants to know what I'm thinking about this trade, Clint Capela and Robert Covington. Now, I really loved Clint Capela while he was here. He replaced Dwight Howard when Dwight Howard left, and he really turned into a great player. I mean, he was averaging 14 rebounds and like 2 blocks a game when he left this year. So he's a great player, but I think the Rockets wanted to do this because they're just like, man, I just don't know in the big games if he's going to be able to handle playing against bigger guys. He just is not as tough as we need him, and I think they wanted to move into a small ball lineup so people are more free, I should say. And I've heard rumors that maybe it was Russell Westbrook who just said, I just need him out of here so I can, drive easier. I don't know if that's true or not. Capela was a great player while he was here. So I am sad to see him go, and I wish he could have stayed, but he was our most tradable asset. And in order to get anybody of substance, we needed to trade him away. I mean, we just didn't have really anybody else to trade that we could have gotten any value for. So I think that's the ultimate reason why they ended up trading him. Now, Robert Covington coming to Houston, it's an A+ move. I love the move. Robert Covington needed to come here. I don't know if I said it in a video previously, but I have been saying for months the Rockets should get Robert Covington. Early this year, in the regular season, I said the Rockets need Robert Covington. Go get him. I really love Robert Covington. I really think he's a great wing player, great wing defender. He's going to be able to take on the Paul Georges, the Kawhis, the LeBrons, players like that, and I think he is going to be an X factor going forward. I mean, he's going to be able to play with P.J. Tucker in the front court, and Covington is like 6'7", 6'8", so he's a bigger guy. He's just like a Daniel House size, except a little bit bigger than him, and does things much better than Daniel House. I love Daniel House too, but Robert Covington is just, I think, an upgraded Daniel House to me, and a much better defender, and he can really lock down your best player. Like Trevor Ariza is a similar comparison, I think, to Covington, except he's 4 or 5 years younger than Ariza. So I think it's just kind of like our Trevor Ariza of old. And that's kind of what I compare him to, but I think he'll be much needed going to the playoffs. So I really love Robert Covington. Now, for the Rockets, I really wish they would go after another center. I really think we need another big guy. Maybe he doesn't play a whole lot, because when your only two centers are Isaiah Hartenstein, which I really like, and I think we should play him some more, because I think in a couple of years he can be really good. He could be our Capela replacement, because, I mean, it went from Dwight Howard to Capela. Now I think Isaiah Hartenstein is that next guy, unless the NBA just turns into a small ball league, which I don't think it will. I think the center still has a role to play, and especially when centers can shoot, I think they'll still be in the game, and I think Isaiah Hartenstein can develop a shot. But yeah, with him and Tyson Chandler, we need somebody else. I just don't think those two guys are gonna do it. I mean, Tyson Chandler is great in 3-minute spurts, and he only plays like 9 or 10 minutes a night, I think. And not even a night. He hasn't played in a while, but he plays like once every 2 weeks or so at this point. He's just really old and can't move as well as what Mike D'Antoni probably wants him to. But I do think they need somebody, and maybe that answer is Jordan Bell, who also came to the Rockets. I actually really like Jordan Bell. I pulled it up here that in the 2017 draft, Jordan Bell got taken by the Warriors. Let me see where that is. He was picked in the second round, pick 38 by the Warriors. That year, the Rockets had two second round picks. They had the 43rd and the 45th pick of that year. Now, in that draft, I don't think I've said it in a video, because I think it was before this channel was started when this draft happened. But they had picks like 5 picks later and 7 picks later, and I wanted the Rockets to get Jordan Bell. He was the guy that I'm like, okay, we need to get Jordan Bell with our second round pick. And he just went 5 picks too early. Of course, we did end up getting Isaiah Hartenstein, who is still on our team, and then Dylan Brooks, who we traded away. But I really kind of wanted them to take Jordan Bell there, and we were so close to getting him there. And I think he'll be a great fit with us. I mean, he played for the Warriors and gave us fits, even when he came off the bench for the Warriors a couple of years ago. He's a good player. He's not super big for a center. He's like 6'9", but he's very athletic. Has a tiny bit of a jump shot, not too much, but he can shoot a little. But is a pick and roll guy who can set screens, and he's going to be a good asset. I think the Rockets are really embracing that small ball lineup, which I think is good, but I do think you definitely need a center for depth. And I hope that they'll go and sign somebody in free agency. I'm not really sure what the market looks like for that. Maybe, there's Joakim Noah, who's not on a team. Don't know how he would fit really, but he would give us some physical size and presence, or some other center who's out there that could provide some bench minutes for us. So that's about the Rockets. That's what I think. I think it's a great trade overall. I would give it a B+, just because I think Robert Covington is going to be a huge difference maker. The fact that we got Jordan Bell is even better. But the Capela leaving does hurt me, but I realize it's the only way that we could have gotten Robert Covington. I mean, we wouldn't have got him. And also, he could have gone to the Lakers or the Clippers, somebody who would have just made their team even better. So we kind of stole them from the Lakers or the Clippers. I think that's kind of even more why I think this trade was even better than most people do. Now, I will say I had a friend text me last night who said that he hated this trade, and he's like, he's going to go and join another team's bandwagon, and he hated the trade. But I really did like the trade. I think it was needed to get another wing defender for us. So hopefully we can go out and get another center, and hopefully, our guys can just learn to box out better, and because it's going to be tough if we're having to defend the Joel Embiids, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard. But we'll see how it goes. I just hope they get another center just to play some some minutes off the bench, even if they're not starting. So let me move on really quickly. I'll go over the Hawks end of this deal. I'm not going to really go over the other teams in this trade because I just want to go over the Hawks, and they got Capela. Now this Hawks team, I said earlier they were going to be a 4 seed in the East. That is clearly not going to happen anymore. I was way off on that. But however, I do think next year, I think that saying will stand for me. I think they will be a 4 seed next year, or maybe 5, but I think a 4. Just because now, when you have Trae Young and John Collins and now Capela, your front court is set, and you got Trae Young, and then the young guys Kevin Huerter and you got Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter. I mean that's your starting lineup right there. I mean this team in a couple of years is going to be really good, and I think next year, I think they'll be really good. So I think the Hawks made a great move in this trade. You know, I really do. And I heard that they cut Chandler Parsons, who probably will not play again in the NBA due to a car wreck he got in. It's sad because he was a former Rocket. He was a good player for us. So that's a really sad story. But they had to do that to make room for Capela on their roster. But I'm really looking forward to this the Hawks team next year. I think this year is kind of already done, but next year I'm really looking forward to it. So it's going to be great for the Hawks. So I'm pretty happy as it is right now. I just wish the Rockets would get another center, and I will be completely happy. I'm really happy with these trades, especially since I am a Hawks fan as well. Let me go over Robert Covington's stats real quick for the Rockets. I pulled them up. So this year he's averaging, he's averaging 12.8 points per game, which is what he averages for his career. He's averaging 6 rebounds, a couple of assists, and a block, and almost 2 steals a game. So I mean that's really good for him. And then also he's shooting 35% from 3, 80% from the free throw line. So he's really, really good. And I know this lighting is going out. I need to charge my light. So I'll end this video pretty quickly. But yeah, so I think he's a perfect 3-and-D guy. He can defend kind of anybody on the court. And I really think this trade will go and help the Rockets make a push this year in the playoffs. I still think they have a good chance to make it to the finals, or at least the Western Conference Finals, and who knows after that what'll happen. But I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. So, but yeah, so that was my recap of the Clint Capela Robert Covington trade. Look out for more videos very soon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.